Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a high-level best of 3. Today we have a very special one, as we have ByuN here in the bottom left, the man, the myth, the legend, playing for Shopify Rebellion, of course. And in the top right, the man from Taiwan that does things a little bit different than most other Protoss players. His name is Haas, and we already see a little bit of that as he's now walling an area that absolutely does not need to be walled. So, 90%, 95% of all Protoss players would probably wall this general area, right? If a Reaper would come in, it would be difficult for the Reaper to pass by into the natural mineral, or into the main base mineral line. Instead, Haas is building his gateway over here. It doesn't give a lot of advantages timing-wise when it comes to sending out an early game adept. I just don't really see the advantages here, but sometimes when you watch a Haas game, it's not about the things that give advantages, but it's about the things that seemingly give disadvantages that he'll then use to do something really weird that makes no sense that ends up working. And that's really what we're looking out for here. So he's creating, I don't really know what this is. It's one hell of a wall. You could say, why didn't we just build a pylon over here? Then we'd at least have a semi-wall. Right now we're going to need a third structure over here. But over-analyzing Haas is always a mistake. That's what his opponents do as well. And trust me, I know, because I've been his opponent multiple times where all of a sudden you just see a regular amount of probes in the main base and you start counting and you miscount. It's like, wait a second, there's a probe missing. You scout the entire map for a proxy and he built 2 Nexi at the same time. Has double force going and you just lost the game. Congratulations, you're now down 1-0 against Haas. Enjoy playing whatever strategy you want because he's going to cheese you in the next 2 games and it's going to be really difficult to survive. So he's opening up with a Twilight in the wall here. This was a no scout coming out of Haas, by the way. He's not aware of the fact that this is a 2-gas opener, one of the more aggressive openers that Terran can pull off. First Reaper, got a probe kill here, which is nice. Got a scout as well on the tech, which honestly, this is all a Reaper really wants in life. Reapers have really low expectations for life. You know, they don't think of anything big. It's not like a battle cruiser, like I want to get 15 drones, Yamato 7 queens, teleport back home 35 times, get repaired, worth 10k of resources. No, a Reaper wants to stay alive for the first 3 minutes, kill a probe, like that's the greatest thing they can get, a probe kill, and they want the scout attack. That's really all there is, and this Reaper already got that, and a little bit more even. Oh my god, dealing a lot of damage against this Stalker as well. It's almost going to get a Stalker here. And both Reapers will stay alive for now, but this Adept, well, no, it's actually not going to end up finishing that. There's a Hellion in the natural right now. Reapers are going to bounce back in towards the main. ByuN absolute masterclass here of the Terran early game, keeping every single unit alive, allowing him to come back in once again, tries to jump on this Stalker. Ooh, another probe. Not quite going to get taken out. Perhaps it will. Hellion comes in from the back, gets one more shot in, and one more probe should fall here. So actually two more workers do end up dying. Stalker goes down at the cost of a Reaper and a Hellion. Fantastic start here for ByuN, who's going to be following this up with a really quick mine drop as well. Don't forget, double gas allows for a quick starport, allows for these fast mines to be sent out as well. So yeah, I'm kind of in love with the position that that ByuN has over here. Bunker is being constructed right now because the marine count is rather low, as is always going to be the case with a build order like this. Follow-up for Haas is going to be Robo Gateway, and I'm feeling a second forge here as well. Look at that probe. What you doing, buddy? That's a second forge. No, it's another gateway. Alright, good calls here. This was a third base off of a single gate with complete no scout against a 2-gas opener. Like, that is actually kind of sick. He did this off of 3 units. That's really not a thing. Like, you know, now he only has 1 unit left. This is really just not a thing. Like, this is so insanely greedy and risky. Like, any type of aggressive push would have just straight up killed this. Any one base attack would have straight up killed this. Look at the vision that Haas had. He moved one of his adepts over here and one of his units over here. That was the Shade that tried shading on top of those Reapers. So yeah, he literally has no info. He opened up with charge first. What? Oh, he's doing this with very low gas. Okay. Now I'm kind of digging it all of a sudden. There is a second forge going to be thrown down here. This is very low gas. He's hardly mining from this. So, despite the worker count being somewhat close, the moment this third base finishes, which is now, this is going to give a lot of mineral income here for Haas. The extra barracks are super late for ByuN because, yes, this is kind of dedicated, and Blink is really nice to have against Ravens and against mine drops makes it easier to deal with those, but charge is really nice to have against these kind of semi-dedicated pushes, and it really does feel like ByuN is going for a semi-dedicated push. Like, this won't even have stim or combat shield if this is going to move out, so this will need to wait. It's either going to hit too late by the time 1-1 has been finished, or it's going to hit at a timing where there's charge with +1 attack already. So yeah, I'm actually a pretty big fan here of the position that Haas is in. We see ByuN moving into 3 more barracks, so wants to actually go for a 5 Rex play. Banshee in the naturals, getting a couple of kills. Blink halfway done right now. Where's that forced observer? It's gonna get recalled back home into the main base though. 8 workers will get taken out, and I said that I liked Haas's position. That was before he lost 11 workers without really killing any of these harassing units. Double Banshees moving in, just getting so much done here. Slow response coming out of Haas as well. I love the ideas behind this entire thing, but you can't lose 21 workers and get back into it. No matter how fast your upgrades or how fast your third base was, it's just super not viable. And yeah, this is obviously one of the issues. You can have a lot of aggression coming out of the Terran when they play 2 gas. That hits pretty fast because all your tech is just a little bit quicker than it usually is. Banshee once again coming in will take out a couple more workers if ByuN gets the correct target fire, and of course he, well, does. 26 workers get taken out. The Banshee gets to stay alive as well. Will run out of energy soon, but once again gets 1, 2, maybe 3, no, 2 more workers. 28 workers going down in the past 30 odd seconds or so. But we can imagine a world where these 28 workers wouldn't have gone down. This game would have been pretty darn over. I think ByuN would have been in so much trouble. All of a sudden you're looking at a Haas who already had pretty decent infrastructure. Look at this. Even now, despite losing 28 workers, still has 7 gateways, 1 more on the way. Already has the 1-1 upgrade, and combat shield hasn't even finished yet. So, honestly, I really believe that Haas was winning in a very big way before these 2 Banshees killed 30 workers. And it is a little bit unfortunate. I wonder if this is going to be a run by, or what this actually is being set up here. It's like some kind of a flank, perhaps. 46, 56 army supply against 70 right now. Still no combat shield, still no armor upgrade either. And with a good flank, anything is possible. Guardian shield gets used. Here comes the flank. This army is going to get pushed back, but I'm not so sure if it's going to be enough. 70, 66 supply right now against 103. Concussive shells finishing up soon. Combat shield still a little bit away, and ByuN is going to get pushed back once. Is actually going to maybe lose a second medevac as well in this retreat. But let's not forget about the worker count here for Haas. Haas is pretty much all in off of this. He's mining a crap ton of minerals though, because he's just, well, look at this. 4 workers in gas currently, not even properly split either. This is a pretty cool strategy though. I really do like this. I like the way that Haas played this. A complete no scout, single gateway, fast upgrades, lots of probes. I really this is how you beat players better than you. This is how you beat players that are 5 leagues above you. If you're a platinum player and you do this, well, I'm not saying you're going to be capable of beating a diamond, but this definitely would help. Like, it's just a very wild play. It's some pretty intelligent gambles in there. Sadly, it didn't work out because these observers were all out of position. We'll have to wait and see if Haas can even hold this incoming attack. There is a Guardian Shield available right now. It's not being sent quite yet. There we go. Guardian Shield should perhaps see a snipe on that sentry if ByuN wants to fight this. No, ByuN says, I can fight this without sniping the Guardian Shield. Mines in the back will cover the Zealot flank. And these Marines and Marauders moving into a pretty solid position. Pickup is still viable as well. Of course, can always go into a main base here. And then these Zealots are going to have a way rougher time well, dealing with this type of dropping damage. GG gets called. ByuN wins game number 1 as Haas is forced to tap out. And that, my friends, brings us into game number 2 here on Data C, where once again we have this odd gateway placement. It really doesn't do very much in my mind. It's slightly faster in the natural, but I don't quite see the value in that. No scout once more. There's a perfectly fine Reaper wall on this map. Let's not forget about this. Single gateway and a cybernetics core allowing you to hide your potential tech, whether that's a Stargate, a Twilight Council, or even a robotics facility if you so please. This is why Data C is considered a very good map for TOS, is because of that wall. It makes it so much easier also against double gas openers to deal with any type of early Reaper shenanigans. Haas, however, says, no, I don't actually care about anything you do. I'm just gonna expand at 19. Throw down my cybernetics core at 20 and we'll take it from there. And honestly, I kind of like it. He says, you know what he won't expect? Me doing the same thing again after I lost the first time around. And, well, ByuN didn't try the proxy, so in a way he didn't really expect it. Let's see what's going to happen right now. So we see the first workers being pulled off gas. And that indicates that this most likely isn't going to be a one-base all-in. For one-base all-ins, like a very heavy one-base tank all-in, or even something like a Thor drop, a Thor attack, you need a lot of gas. So we never see these SCVs pull out of gas. However, if you want a quicker expand, you always want to pull out of gas to get that extra mineral income, because you're simply not properly saturated on your main base already. One of the main disadvantages, of course, of these double gas openers that Terrans are playing is A, you can't really afford to SCV scout, and B, you're freaking poor. So, like you just have like 3, 4 or less SCVs or so. Usually we see this go down at 140. Right now we see it go down at 222. That is 42 seconds. So it's like 3.5 SCVs that you're lacking. On top of that, you're also going to be missing a little bit of mining time from your natural. And you're going to oversaturate your main base a little bit, which isn't ideal. But in return for that, you do get a lot of cool stuff back. Also, of course, you're just going to delay an entire mule, or like 60% or 70% of a mule, which I guess would be equal to about like 140, 150 minerals. So yeah, it's expensive business, that's for sure, opening up like this. And you do need to get some compensation out of that, and we'll have to wait and see if ByuN is going to be capable of doing that once more. Last game, of course, he got that compensation in a big way. Stalker, probes, all being taken out. Once more, a charge rush here coming out of Haas. What an odd build this is. 2 Stalkers, okay, he wanted to throw down that third base already, saw the double Reapers, and was like, yeah, maybe I'll wait a second. And here, once more, we see the lack of this wall is actually going to cost him a fair chunk here. Moves out of his own wall on the natural. You already know what's going to be happening with this Hellion. Well, actually, nothing so far, it seems like. As 3 probes have gone down. Full worker pool coming in clutch here. As one more will die. Both Reapers will fall as well. ByuN very slow with the response here of the Hellion. Could have been dealing some big damage in the natural. Maybe got walled out and I missed it. Is a possibility. But I think if he would have moved in immediately, Haas would not have been ready there. So a little bit sloppy there out of our Korean Terran player, who right now, oh my god, look at this. Complete pull out of gas. This is StarCraft 2, my friends. This is strategy gaming. This is actual strategy gaming. A Forge is being thrown down, which is interesting. He's completely skipping the Robo. He says, hey, what did I lose to last game again? Right, Cloak Banshee. What is the chance you're gonna go for Cloak Banshee once more? And ByuN says, well, actually, pretty darn high. Like, it worked last game. He's just gonna start it again. That's obviously not that great here for Haas, because, well, he's lacking detection in a big way currently. In a big way. I like this build order though. I'm definitely gonna try copying this. Look how fast these upgrades are. Look how fast everything is. Robotics facility being thrown down after the second forge. No workers yet mining from this third base. Mine drop heading in towards the main base. Hellion looking at this fish and dance off with the, what is that? The gray fish that's swimming over there. Oh. This bad boy is going to get in. There's a couple of zealots here in the mineral line. Not so sure if 3 zealots is enough to clear a mine before it burrows. Apparently with the help of a single stalker shot, it indeed is. We now get a lift on this mine. Can we get a... Oh my god, actually gets the kill. These mines did nothing. And straight away back to mining is Haas. We'll continue sending more and more workers over to this third base as well. And the mineral income is going to skyrocket right now for our Taiwanese Protoss player. This is a move out that I do not approve of. This does not have the Harstem certified stamp. If he actually decides to move out with this, I think that would be a huge blunder. A huge blunder. Some blind countering from last game. Look at that. Battery into the main base. More gateways being thrown in as well. We have a drop heading out, but these Marines do not quite have stim yet, so should not be capable of doing all that much. I mean, 3 zealots in position will take care of that. And here comes the Banshee. And the Banshee is going to make these probes scream. As the first 3 have already been taken out. Pretty decent stutter stab, but not the greatest. And here comes the Observer with the 3 Stalkers. Last game Haas lost 28 workers. This time he loses 4. And that's what we call improvement. Quite a bit, honestly. Infrastructure looking healthy at 4 gateways already, 2 more on the way. +1 has finished up, and sadly for Haas doesn't really have the cash, or well, mainly the gas, to afford the +2 attack immediately. And the main reason for that, of course, being that he has to chrono out a couple of these observers to make sure that he remains safe. Now I have a recall coming in here, these zealots being very strong with that +1 attack. Ground armor about to finish up as well. It's going to make them even bulkier here. This is the first upgrade here for ByuN, who is moving into a 3rd CC, barracks 4 and 5 as well, and is going to try and get something done here. But a 4th base is already on the way. This is an actual eco cheese. That's what it is. Okay, I didn't want to say it yet, because last game it kind of failed. It still was an eco cheese back then, but and it's just what it is, right? It's just, look at this mineral income, 2,800, 7 minutes into the game. We're going up to 8 gateways. We went 6 gate into a 4th base, into 8 gateways. We now have Blink on the way. Haas is completely content staying on these 1-1 upgrades. It says, hey, I already have better upgrades than most Protoss players have at a 10-minute mark. I think I can actually wait. I don't have to start my +2 immediately. It would have been great if he could have, of course, but with these observers that he had to build, it just cuts into your gas count, and if you're only mining from 2 gases, it can be difficult to get things going. So right now we have +2 armor, +2 attack, rather than the +2 armor. It's an odd call, but it's a call that I'm going to have to live with, as it's the one that he made. So far he's always been focusing more on these initial attack upgrades than on the armor upgrades. Now ByuN's gonna see this forward, but it's like, oh my god, you can't actually be serious, right? We'll check the upgrades on these zealots as well. It's like, okay, 1-1 already. This is not looking good for me. Prism. Okay, I thought I saw a Prism being chrono boosted, but it must have just been an Immortor. I must have cancelled that Prism. I swear I saw a Prism earlier. I swear I saw it. Now this probe's gonna get taken out. We have 5 barracks production as these zealots are moving into vision of this tower. Okay, 2 of them are just gonna die. Let's take a look at the response time here out of Haas. The moment he sees it happen on the minimap. 1, 2, lost both of them. Did see that there's an army there though. His response is like, okay, there's an army threatening my 4th base. How about I'm gonna kill your 3rd base? This is the type of call you make when you have absolutely, no fear whatsoever. This is a fearless move out, if I've ever seen one. Absolutely fearless move out. Got a little bit of vision here on the bottom side with these probes. I do like that, actually. But these are some wild move outs. We have a Robo Bay coming in. We don't have the +2 starting yet on that armor. And these both of the medevacs are flying out. We still have these 7 Marines sticking close to the medevac. ByuN very happy with his map control. Haas very happy with his income. And it wouldn't surprise me if ByuN would give up that map control in a second if he would be allowed to get the income that Haas has. Because honestly, Haas's income is super beautiful. +2 armor is on the way right now. We're still working only off of 2 gases. Scratch that. There's gases 3 and 4 over here. That means that this Colossus can actually be built. We have a 5th base on the way already. I think we need way more warp gates here. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful stuff. 5 more gateways on the way immediately. We have this Prism moving in soon as well. It's going to set up shop in the main base most likely, and with a quick 8 Zealot warp in. This could potentially be very dangerous, actually. 2 of these Zealots are being dropped in a location where they can only hit this refinery. No more gas for you, my friend. And a big Zealot warp in into the main base is going to take out a lot of these Marauders. We have a double Zealot pickup, maybe. No, I thought maybe he wants to try and rotate back in towards this base. At the same time, we had something happening here. I didn't quite see what it was, but it looked intense. Double drops over here. 1 drop still in this area as well, but not being used whatsoever. This wasn't a great success, but it did keep ByuN at home a little bit longer, and it will keep him at home for some time to come, at least until these Vikings pop out, so they can start chasing away this Warp Prism. Because as long as that Warp Prism is on the map, there's always just the threat of a counterattack, which is quite frankly pretty dangerous. Now, Sensor Tower finishing up as well, 10... Ooh, wait, how many do we have? We have 12, 13 gateways, so 13 Zealots at once can be warped in. This is a 38 Zealot army. Look at that. Double Sensor Towers. ByuN is very afraid right now, and he should be. He's afraid for a good reason. I'd love to see a Ghost Academy, yeah. Very, very good call against all of these Zealots. And I would have loved to even see a couple more mines being produced during this. I think mines are so vital against high Zealot counts. Not the greatest control here out of ByuN at the start of this fight. But these mines are going to put a dent into the supply of Haas. Haas will need to back up for a millisec here. The Colossus is going pretty well. 2-2 upgrades have finished up here for at least Haas. We see ByuN only on 2-1 right now. I mean, this was it's a pretty terrible engagement for a Taiwanese player. That was really bad. I don't think this fight could have actually gone worse. He tanked every single mine hit with like a massive splash. I don't think he killed anything valuable in that fight. Like one Viking, that's it. Then maybe a bunch of Marauders, maybe 4 Marines or so. That was an absolutely atrocious fight for him. And this should give ByuN kind of the confidence to start moving out on the map at some point in the near future. Don't forget, Haas has a good eco, has a very many bases, has a lot of probes, but his army is not just bad composition-wise, it's also low in the army supply, which means that if any of these mines are going to connect, if any of these ghosts are going to get the connections with the EMPs, which doesn't quite seem to be the case, this is just going to melt. And yeah, here we go once more. Haas just getting pushed back. Warps in 10, 12 new zealots and is still down 20 supply. ByuN just completely destroying this game at this moment. And I think if you want to play the way that Haas is playing currently, you need to get a Prism into a main base at some point. You just need to get that damage done. You need to be in multiple locations, dealing damage to the eco and then forcing a split, because then you can be efficient with your units. But we're working with a primitive army composition here. This is a bunch of zealots. This is an immortal over... Where are you, Mr. Immortal? I swear I saw an immortal. Yeah, there we go. There he is. And like 2 Colossus. It's not a very good army. These Disruptors are going to round this out a little bit better. Stalker count increases the chase possibility as well. ByuN is being forced to pull back at least a little bit. And Disruptor shots connect in some way, but... I mean, every single fight that we've seen in the past 3 minutes has just been going the way of ByuN in a very, very major way. Immortal's going to get taken out here as... honestly, I find it difficult to believe that ByuN is going to end up losing this game in some way, shape or form. The one thing I could see is when he tries to take a 5th base, it could get a little bit dicey, but he's in such solid control in this game right now. Yes, his opponent's eco is very good. Yes, the upgrades of Haas are also fantastic and there are Disruptors out, but it feels like ByuN is in the place he wants to be at. You know, he can send 2 armies out. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of more mines, either just sprawled around the map for stopping run-bys or just being with the army, which is super useful. This is going to get taken out here. Yeah, will end up falling. Ay, pylon, good EMP. Everything's being taken out here. Do you actually want to take out that Nexus in this case? Probably do. Oh! That was very close, and a couple of big Disruptors hits do end up connecting with that Bio army. At the same time, we still have a Bio army here on the bottom side. These fights, despite them looking okay for ByuN, like in the moment, are not actually that good. Because he is just being outmined in a big way and doesn't have a 5th base. So if he fights, he needs to actually win fights. And initially that looked good until he tanked a massive Disruptor shot to the face. Got a little bit over eager there. Now I do like this a lot, of course. Managed to EMP this Nexus as well, which means he's just going to end up dying. Like, there's nothing he can do about this. Haas, that is. There's 1 tank still at home. It's going to get sniped immediately. A couple of Vikings. Well, actually a couple. Literally a single Viking is moving in. Great splits here coming out of our Korean Terran player. Still at 181 supply. But is actually getting some damage dealt to him right now. This bottom base will get taken out as well. It's 140 supply against 172. Despite all of that, I liked this trade a lot for Haas over here. 16 workers taken out. Yes, he lost every single Disruptor. Yes, he lost every single Colossus. Yes, he lost the base. But the moment ByuN isn't maxed, it means that there's an opportunity for Haas, because Haas is going to be maxed very soon again. He has the income for that. He's doubling his opponent's income right now. And the one criticism we really can have for ByuN here is that his 5th base has been extremely slow at materializing. It's going to push towards the top side, but this isn't an army that is all together. Look at this. The chunk of this army is going to get caught out in the middle of the map. There's no ghost in here. 3 mines in the back are not going to be capable of doing too much. 4 mines actually will need to dig their little claws into the ground. At the same time, we have a drop heading over here on the bottom side. Needs to be picked up. There's a lot of Stalkers in position though. Could blink forward. Haas not paying attention. Lucky ByuN over here. As he's going to kite this back a little bit further. ByuN up in supply, has taken out a lot of the worker count of his opponent. There's still a lot of Nexi around though, and that means that probe replenishment will happen very, very quickly. Disruptor Shot is going to kill 2 Zealots and no bio units. It's an absolute Protoss classic right there, as more Disruptors are going to get sniped here by ByuN's army. We have Zealots warped in and kind of running in like a bunch of idiots. I don't mind it completely, but if these mines are still around, you perhaps want to be a little bit more careful. Part of this army is trying to rotate towards the top side. Not so sure if that is the correct move here, as this army is running out of juice a little bit. Looks like there's no real sustain. Medevac is running low. Oi, oi, oi. Good pickup here. Another Medevac gets taken out. Overall Medevac count at 3. Are going to need a little bit more of that production. As we see the income still in favor of Haas here. Up to 77 workers. 35 of those are going to be mining from this base, which is not good. And could even be considered a massive error. Especially given that there's a completely empty base up here. There's a juicy base as well. We have an empty base down here as well, but that one's a little bit less juicy, as most likely it's going to get dropped again in the near future. Double drops indeed are heading down there, as this army is being pushed back completely here by Haas. Starts firing on this planetary. Not so sure if he can take it down, but Haas says, meh, pretty sure I can. He's taking his sweet time with this. Is going to end up killing it, and now there's a little bit of pressure on ByuN because he lost his 5th base. His opponent is still mining from, well, 6, if this base was mining. So, actually just mining from 5. There are Disruptors out. And there's still a bit of a bank as well. This is starting to get somewhat scary. We see an orbital command moving towards the bottom side. I don't mind it because you kind of have this drop to protect it naturally. You could say, why don't you fly it over here? Well, actually maybe this is safer given how the positioning has worked so far in this game. A couple of EMPs are connecting with these Zealots. Disruptors moving forward. Oh my god, this Disruptor. It's Danny the Disruptor over here. Very ballsy. He has like 20 HP left, just moving in front right now. Mines are going to take out Danny right away. More Zealots are falling as well. As, yeah, this is starting to look pretty dire here for Haas. Needs to get a good engagement between now and, well, 30 seconds, honestly. Because if he loses this topside base, I think ByuN is just winning this game. We have 5 base versus 5 base situation, and with the efficiency that Haas has shown so far in this game, yeah, that's going to suck. This is a good flank, though. This is a very good flank. This is going to force a pickoff. We see a blink forward as well. Can he get that? Yes, he can get that one medevac that flew away, fully loaded. A couple more of these Marines and Marauders are being taken out as well. Bottom side drops have been thwarted at the same time, and Haas, holding that topside 6th base, throwing down a cannon, throwing down a battery, is going to rotate towards the bottom. Is he aware of that 5th base? He must know something is going on, since a big chunk of Zealots over there. If he takes out every single SCV, that would be a big hit to ByuN's eco. And I think a lot of these SCVs indeed are going to end up falling. At the same time, we have Disruptors here, capable of zoning out ByuN's army a little bit. Ooh, using both Purification Novas at the same time might have been a mistake. As the Zealots will meet with these Marauders, and it's a meeting that the Zealots didn't quite want to attend. So just a regular work meeting then. And these Marauders were very keen. Classic middle management. The MMM, middle management Marauders. Absolute classic. What's that? Oh my god, that's 5 mules. This is big, but he's going to boot ByuN up to the regular eco level of Haas that he has been on for the past 2-3 minutes. So it's still just not going to be enough. Like I think that Haas has actually done it. Keeping that 6th base on the top alive, taking out that 5th planetary over here was such a huge deal. Now the game isn't quite over yet. There's still a possibility that ByuN takes a really good engagement. But he needs more than just a good engagement. He needs a good engagement into leveraging that lead into something more tangible. A base kill or just going for the throat. I'm surprised that Haas is going for it, but perhaps it is just the correct call. Purification Novas being sent out. Both of these Disruptors get sniped before the Purification Novas land. Ghosts have fallen at this point. SCVs are being pulled. Disruptor shot needs to be sent away or it would kill more Zealots than Bio once again. GG gets called as Haas wins game number 2 in this best of 3. And now we find ourselves in a situation which I would like to call the Haas conundrum. If you're playing against Haas, you've all been here before. It's very simple. You're 1-1, and Haas has just shown the same strategy twice, which is extremely vulnerable to a proxy Rex. Do you have the balls in the final game against a player that is obviously inferior to you in a macro game? Do you have the balls to proxy him? Put your series on the line because you might believe that he's going to do the same thing. Or do you not trust that Haas is going to play the same strategy 3 times in a row? Haas is the one that's actually switching it up with a scout this time around. So he's the first one that makes a little bit of a deviation. If you're ByuN and you're seeing this scout, you're probably going to be somewhat afraid. Like, wait a second, are we being proxy gated? What's going on over here? We most likely will see that initial Reaper just being sent around to spot for any potential proxy gates. Nexus gets thrown out, and we'll have a cybernetic score quickly after as well. I can only imagine indeed is going to be the case. Okay, this is somewhat exciting. Honestly, I'm definitely excited for this. Yeah, this is exciting. Woohoo! Reaper coming out here first, so it's going to move back, make sure that there's nothing proxied in a very weird location. And we'll need to actually figure out what else Haas's plans are going to be here. Is it going to be once again a charge rush into these heavy, the heavy focus on getting a lot of minerals out? Those forges, them upgrades going. It wouldn't completely surprise me. We see a Stalker first. We see a Warp Gate coming out, very similar to what we have seen so far in this game or in this series. And indeed, the Reaper is hunting for a proxy gate as we have a reactor coming in, a CC on the high ground as Haas is living rent-free in ByuN's head currently. And we have the Twilight Council once more being built in the natural location. ByuN is going to scout this. And even in this, in this situation, do you have the balls, the guts, the cojones to say, all right, this is going to be the same thing again, and I can prepare for that. I know what to do against that. Or are you afraid that it's going to be like this could be a 2-base charge all-in. It's difficult to scout the 3rd base. This is a difficult map to play against Haas on, because you don't know if there's a 3rd or not. Like, it is very viable here for Haas to just throw down a robotics facility here and say, hey, ooh, okay, look, already have a switch up here. This is completely different. This is Blink all of a sudden. And every single game, he has shown that double Stalker opener. Said, hey, Stalker, Stalker, and then pure Zealots. But that's not going to be the case here. Battery's going to get thrown down. There will be a Nexus in the back. But of course, ByuN is not going to be aware of that whatsoever. And that's what makes this so difficult to play against. We still have that gas mining going on as well. So very different from everything we've seen before. Well, not very different, but different enough that it might confuse ByuN. It might just lead ByuN to be a little bit over-eager here with this medevac, for example. Imagine thinking that there's no Blink, and all of a sudden there is Blink. That'd be a surprise. And not a very fun one at that. It'd be a terrible surprise. Like running home and seeing a weird pair of shoes, in the hallway. It's a non-fun surprise. A surprise nonetheless, but not a very fun one. Who did it belong to? Did Santa come too early? It is possible. It could also be something worse. What if your wife, for example, decided to secretly change the living room, and that's the handyman that's doing it? Boom, you come home, living room painted completely olive green. That's the type of stuff that nightmares are made of, my friends. That's for sure. Fast +1 coming out here of Haas. As we have a 3rd Nexus here in location. Did they get spotted yet? It didn't. Oh my god, imagine being ByuN. That's scary. That's actually scary right now. I was just trying to imagine being ByuN, that's why I took a bit of a pause. I was like, ooh, all of a sudden I'm very fast. I have a brain that works. My wrist hurt because I actually practice a lot. Good work ethic. Like, man, this isn't half bad. Then I realized I have no vision on the 3rd base and it felt awful. 5 more gates coming in. This is really scary. Okay, ByuN gets a confirmation that there is a Nexus there. That's kind of big. And that definitely was worth taking that damage. There's a full wall battery as well. This makes no sense. And I love it. I love things that make no sense whatsoever. We have 2 extra barracks here in the main base. And it's going to be a combat shield starting very, very soon. Start it. Okay, there we go. This thing is just patrolling. Now, the reason why you patrol units that are in dead space is very simple. And the reason for it is because one of the tells often that a drop is going in is because you see movement on the minimap. However, if you patrol it, there's always movement on the minimap. So it's way harder for the defending player to realize when the drop is actually moving in. Just a quick tip. So you don't have to pay attention to it. You can just leave it patrolling there forever. And it's really annoying if you have vision on that drop. It just feels bad. Well, here we go. It's trying to pump in, but is not quite going to end up working. As we see, ByuN is actually moving away. Sees that forward base. Like, hey, this is 6 minutes, 20 seconds in. I don't even have a third base started yet. I don't like the thought of this very much, and he shouldn't. Charge is about to finish up. We have 7 gateways, 8 gateway halfway done. Armor hasn't started yet. Are we working off of 2 gases, or what is this? Yeah, this is 2 gas once more. So same, but different, as we like to call it. Very similar build order, but slightly different execution. Once again, just focusing a lot on that mineral income. As we have a prison with zealots in the main base, and life is starting to get very, very difficult here for ByuN, who's up only 9 supply against the Protoss player, who's down a base against the Protoss player, and is about to be down 2 bases. We have these stalkers moving out across the map as well. These mines, please don't get the connections, please don't get the connections. There we go. Well, I mean, 1 mine's gonna get taken out, 2nd mine's gonna get taken out, maybe 1 Marauder will fall. 2nd Marauder has the potential of dying as well. Ooh, that's not a good thing to hear. Something your teacher says it like a teacher parent, you know, your son has a lot of potential for dying. It's like, oh, that's not great. And that's what that Marauder had, a lot of dying potential there. One hell of a teacher if you pull that one out of your head. Your son has a lot of potential of being an idiot. So they always said at my teacher parent conferences. Look where I am now. Just half an idiot. It is what it is. There's a lot of Marines here in the main base. They're just waiting until that... Wait, there was a... I was sure I saw a Viking at some point. Huh. Must have been cancelled. And this is really funny to see, but ByuN has kind of given up. And I don't mean given up in that he doesn't want to play this game anymore, but he doesn't believe he can kill his opponent. And he says, okay, the safest thing for me to do right now is to sit at home and wait until I have a lot of supply, so I can't just get straight up surrounded by all of these charge lots and die. So he's just hiding behind his wall, while we're actually entering a scenario very similar to the one that we saw in game number 2, where Haas is going to have map control, superior economy, especially mineral economy, more bases, and soon also pretty decent tech. So I am afraid the one saving grace in this case for our good friend ByuN is going to be that he has a harassment unit out on the map, forcing units to be in position, and also potentially killing a couple of workers. And also the upgrades for Haas aren't as brilliant as the ones that he had in that last game. And this, oh my god, this is balls to the wall. Pedal to the metal. Medevacs into the main. This is a wild move. This is a doom drop in a situation where you're afraid of being all into. Like, let's face it, this is a scary, scary thing to do. These drops, they take about 1.5 minutes. So you're just, just buying time with this Raven. You're saying, okay, I want to buy time. I want to buy a lot of time. Now, the funny thing is that this Raven before cleared this path of any observers. There were no observers there, he said. They're gone. Or maybe he killed them even with the auto turrets. And Haas, of course, won't rebuild observers because vision isn't cool, unlike money. And here we go. Big 4 drop in towards the main base. At the same time, we have this army moving out as well. This is a move I am in love with. What a fantastic little play here. The Sim City looks, well, like something straight out of 2010, as it's not very good. And all of these Marines and Marauders are just ripping through all of Haas's units. At the same time, we have an attack here on the bottom side. Mines are burrowing, unburrowing. Zealots will get taken out. And with 170 supply on the counter still against 123. I think ByuN has done it in this game and in this series. 10 workers going down. Gates are falling. Production has been disabled. And this, I think, is just going to be it. There are still a lot of Zealots on the map. And yes, perhaps ByuN is being a little bit sloppy with his army in front, but the army in the main is has dealt so much damage that I don't really think it's going to matter all that much anymore. For now, Haas will stay alive, but this is a very different situation than the one we had last game, or the situation that we had about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes ago, as that 4 drop just completely murdered him in the main base. is a painful thing to happen here. So we have one mine shot, 2 mine shot, 3 mine shot. Very nice control out of ByuN here. Marauder still alive, which means that this Colossus isn't going to be insanely helpful. He'll still be good against the remaining Marines. But yeah, GG gets called. ByuN wins the game, wins the series, and wins the hearts of fans all around the world. That is going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thanks so much, and bye-bye.